Greetings, I am Toglin, Hell's Harlequin, but you may call me Tog. Today I'm going to be covering a video that probably everyone and their brother has already covered. However, seeing as how I have recently had a baby...
Wow. He's cute. He's sticky looking.
I figured my opinion would be the subject of interest. Without further ado, Queer Kid Stuff reading a book about where babies come from.
This is a story about how babies are made. The first thing you need to know is that you can't make a baby out of nothing. You have to start with something.
It's easy. All you need is love.
Well, at least mommy and daddy type of love. Why do I get the feeling that this book is just going to be unnecessarily complicated and make things far more difficult to explain to a child than what it really needs to be?
This is an egg. Not all bodies have eggs in them. Some do, and some do not.
If I had zero idea of what you are talking about, I might be led to believe that humans come from chickens.
Inside the egg are so many stories all about the body the egg came from.
Stories? Really? You're expecting children to comprehend the basics of biological reproduction, but you can't even trust them with the word information.
This is a sperm. Not all bodies have sperm in them. Some do, and some do not.
Lindsay, did you even proofread this book before you intended to read it to children? Because do you have any idea how inappropriate that sounds?
Inside the sperm, just like inside the egg, there are so many stories about the body the sperm came from.
Yet again, stories is not a good substitute for the word information, because saying stories gives children completely the wrong idea of how these things work.
When grown-ups want to make a baby, they need to get an egg from one body and sperm from another body. They also need a place where the baby can grow. This is a uterus. It is a place where a baby can grow. You might think that everyone has a uterus, since it has the words you and us in it, but not everyone has a uterus.
So this book can't even be bothered to explain that the ones who have the eggs are also the ones who have the uterus. By the explanation they have, it sounds like it takes 3 people to make a baby.
Just like eggs and just like sperm, some bodies have a uterus and some bodies do not. Every body that has a uterus always has it in the same place, just below the belly button, in the squishy middle part.
Let's all stop for a moment and truly appreciate how terrible the artwork is. I mean, I don't understand SJW material. They always hire the worst artists known to man. Would hiring a decent artist seem too elitist?
When an egg and a sperm meet, they swirl together in a special kind of dance. As they dance, they talk to each other. The egg tells the sperm all the stories it has to tell about the body it came from. And the sperm tells the egg all the stories it has to tell about the body it came from. When their dance is done, they are not 2 things anymore. They danced around and shared so much that they became one brand new thing.
Does the writer of this book even know how human reproduction works? Or did they just see an episode of Steven Universe and figure it works something kind of like that?
At first, it is just a tiny thing. Sometimes this tiny thing does not grow, and sometimes it grows into a baby, like you did. Who helped bring together the sperm and the egg that made you? Who was happy that it was you who grew?
If I was a small child trying to understand this process via this book, I would be led to believe that I was a fusion between a human, a chicken, and stored in a third-party human incubator.
Everything that grows, grows differently. Each of us grow in our own way. How a baby grows depends on the stories that the egg and sperm share, and on the uterus the baby is growing inside of.
Yet again, another implication that there's 3 people involved in this process.
But before a baby can be born, it has to get bigger and bigger and bigger. This usually takes about 40 weeks. Sometimes the baby is ready to come out on its own. Sometimes a midwife or a doctor will be the one to say it is time for the baby to be born. No matter who decides, the baby does not just hop out by itself.
Wow, that is one giant yellow woman having that baby.
Some babies are born by coming out through a part of the body that most people call the vagina. And other times, doctors will make a special opening below the belly button, take the baby out, and then close up the hole.
So we're going to use the anatomical term vagina, yet we're not going to say that we're cutting into the lower abdomen, and we're going to use the term stories rather than information. Yes, this all makes perfect sense.
Whichever way the baby comes out, it is a pretty big deal for the baby. It is also a pretty big deal for the people who waited and waited and waited for the baby to be born. Sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it is quick. Sometimes it hurts a little, and sometimes it hurts a lot. But usually, everyone needs a lot of rest afterwards. Who is waiting for you to be born?
This book is insensitive to the unwanted children.
On the day of my actual birth, both of my parents failed to show up.
Wasn't that a good book, Teddy?
Yeah, now I know all about babies.
That's right. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching Queer Kid Stuff.
That book was about as useful as Lindsay's ill-fitting sports bra that makes her look like she has one saggy boob in the center of her chest. Anyway, these are my thoughts and I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I wish all of you a pleasant rest of your day.